Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a max effort lower day, but a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. Today's workout was pretty tough. It was pretty tough. Nice hard workout. And some things are changing a little bit because some people already noticed on the previews are like, well, you did some top fives, right? You did low bar squats, yes. I'll discuss some of that further as I go. I want to mess with a little more specificity with my max effort work, and the only way I can get away with doing it with classic lifts is to change the reps every time I do them if I want to do a lot of it. So I'm going to run with something very, very similar to the way 531 runs its classic lifts. And I'm going to do that as max effort in my Conjugate system, right? That's the beauty of Conjugate, though. The beauty of Conjugate, the ability to tailor it to the specific athlete's needs. And in this case, I've just been getting generally strong, right? I've hit some big weights on a lot of different bars and positions and stances. Now I need some sport specificity, right? Let's gear back towards powerlifting. Means I need to work a little bit on the classic lifts, and we don't even have to for Conjugate, but if I want to get real good at them, it wouldn't be a bad idea. But again, I have to have the variation, and that means I'm going to run 5s, 3s, 1s in a 3-week cycle, and I may do this for a little while, we'll see. But in that case, every third week, I'm going to max on the big 3. So low bar squats, I've got to relearn this. I haven't done this in a long time. It's going to take me a bit to build up. I don't think it'll take that long though. So I actually calculated for the 531 off of a 500-pound squat, which I know that's low for me, but I don't know, with a straight bar it might not be at the moment. So it's what we're going to calculate off of, and I hit the numbers just fine. Now this first set I did struggle a little more with hitting depth. I'm not used to a low bar. I'm not even used to a straight bar anymore in my back. So it took me a warm-up because I only did one warm-up set before that. For those curious, I did 225 and then went straight to that set. Outside of that warm-up stuff you see me do at the beginning. So then I started focusing on trying to sit back a little more, get a little deeper. And for me, getting the depth is going to be more sitting back. But I think I've shown you guys in the past when I've messed with different bars, people from the front angles are like, oh, your squat's high till I show them a side shot. No, my quads and stuff are just that big. I've shown people before an inch below parallel from a side shot that everyone from the front thought was high, but then I showed the exact same set with 2 cameras, and it's like, oh. So, you know, it's fine. A lot of times this opening rep, though, like this first rep, I felt was a hair high, then the second and on was good. So I'm going to have to work on these. I'm going to have to work on them, and that's why I'm going to be conservative with the weight. I'm going to build it up slowly, and I need to work on breaking parallel. Right, I'm going to have to work on it. And with this position, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might need to figure out what camera I can use to check my depth from the side. I might need to do some of that. We might need some of it just to make sure. But I did 425 for a 5, which again, if you look at the math real quick, that's what I should do for a 500 squat. Now that wasn't a 5 rep max. That wasn't a 5 rep max. It was challenging, but it wasn't a max. So we know that calculation is low. But I'm going to build into it. I'm going to slowly build up. We'll test a 500 back squat here soon, and then we'll build up to 510, 520, 530, 550, whatever. And we'll get back to where we were at the heavier body weight over time, which again, I've hit 605 on a cambered bar. All right, deadlifts. Calculating just off of 600. And those who know. A tiny number, you know why I'm doing this. And that's okay. You guys will find out later. I need to hit a quick 600 plus deadlift. So this will give me a nice little taper up. So I ended up doing that 510, and it was not a 5 rep max, which again tells me where I'm at, right? Because it's 85%. 85% should normally be about a 5 rep max. Okay, that's normally a 5 rep max. It wasn't. Right? It wasn't a max. Left a little bit in the tank. So we're in a real good place. We'll know even more next week when I come in and hit a triple. Then after that, I just did 4 supplemental lifts. I did hip thrusts, safety bar good mornings, belt squats, and glute ham raises. Nice balanced. All the muscles of the lower body got worked, and then some back got worked. Hip thrusts, I decided to do 10s on these. I'm going to mess with all 10s for again. I got 495 for 5s on this the other day. First day doing it again now that I have a proper bench for it. So I realized 10s should be doable with 405, so that's what I did. They were hard though. Right? I only had a couple reps in reserve at the most. So we got good challenging work sets, and that's what we want. That's what we want. You know, again, kind of going to point out we're not trying to do the accessory Olympics here, but we do need to push performance on them. Up to a point, there's going to be some lifts. The more I've started to think of good mornings, I don't know that we need to push good mornings to the extremes that I have. I hit a 615 deadlift while weaker on the good mornings than what I do now. A hair weaker. And using it as a staple exercise. So that I think for me the focus on the good mornings is really going to be that full range of motion. All right, do I need a super heavy weight, or can I keep working on progressively trying to see if I can get deeper, push the hips back more, and create a different moment arm? Okay, so I want to work with about 225 with the different bars, even if I change them. Slow, controlled, longer range of motion. Try to maximize that tension, that moment arm, because that's where it's hardest, is at the bottom. It's where it's the most difficult. And with these, even because of the safety bar, they gave me a headache and they're nauseating when I go that low, even with this weight, in spite of the neck work I do. So again, if I'm going to go deep, I need to be very, very careful of that. And I'm noticing, again, I can maintain a good back position when I go a little lighter like this. Because you guys know I've done like 290 for sets of 10. But on this, I'm going to focus really on the control. Focus on the control. I'm using these to build muscle. Right? And yes, tension matters. Progressive overload matters. But if I'm cutting range of motion at all through the hardest parts to do it, are we really getting a muscle building effect, or are we beating up recovery? That's the real question. Because if I can maximize muscle growth on these with a little less weight, we're going to recover better. Because that's the other thing I'm finding. The longer I'm doing this, and as I get older and continue to get stronger, the recovery becomes the name of the game. Can I get the same stimulus with 10%, 20% less beating myself up? It matters. So a lot of this stuff, it is going to be about long range of motion or control, or a lot of just going to be true pump work. Again, the accessory work is there to get us thick, and to get us thick in the right places. We have the heavy days, they have the heavy stuff for the specificity, we have the speed work for the power. Right? All this other lifting is here just to get us thick and to maximize it. Belt squats went to 10s also, so everything was 3x10 today. I have room to grow on this. Dropped down to what should have been, challenging 10s, and it was. Left reps in the tank, I can start loading this up a little heavier and keep working on it. But I want to get that depth. And that's the hardest part, is making sure I'm breaking parallel. Because I need it to carry over to the squatting. And remember, I don't need it to be ass to grass. And people forget that. I'm like, we don't care about ass to grass. We care about, can I break parallel? Because that's what I have to do on a squat. I just have to get below parallel. A 1/4 inch below parallel. So I need that specificity for the hypertrophy on this. And again, on an easy to recover from exercise. Which is why I bought the belt squat. And all things considered, like I said, this was a pretty tough workout today. It may not seem like it, because it's like, well, you just did a squat and a deadlift and then 4 supplemental lifts. Right? But the workload and tonnage of it overall was hard. Like, I felt pretty fatigued as I got through this workout. And I feel fatigued now. Actually, I feel like I want to go just take a nap, but I'm going to have to let this upload. Like, I actually want to go to sleep right now and just recover and rest. And then, of course, we did the glute ham raises. And these were challenging on this setting at this deep into the workout. The 10s, like, I didn't have another rep in the tank on the last set because I timed the breaks to where it's like, well, if I have a rep or two in reserve for the first set, I know I can just trim the brakes a little bit, just a little bit, to get close to failure or have no reps in reserve when I do the final set, which is pretty much what happened. But overall, I'm happy with today's workouts. The low bar squats were very uncomfortable. They felt awkward. I'm going to have to work on that. So first we need to just test those up, get it up to 500, and then ramp it. Build it back up. And I'm going to have to build it by actually doing some squatting. And it's not going to take long because fortunately I have the muscle memory from when I've hit the bigger squats before cutting. Even though I'm cutting now, I can build off that muscle memory, right? And I've built that overall strength base. Now I can just turn it into a little bit of sport specificity and push those numbers way up. All right, push them way up. But yeah, guys, I'll let you guys watch the last set here. I'm going to wind it down, let this render, and get rested up, get food, get some rest in. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.